What is going on, guys? Craig1287 here, bringing you yet another Titanfall video. This time you're going to see in the background a Pilot Hunter round. That is the round in which, or the game mode, in which you only get points for killing enemy pilots. That would be the other teammates, the other enemy. Killing grunts means nothing. Sentinels, the AI, killing the Titans. None of that amounts to any points. And first to 50 pilot kills wins. And my team ends up winning. I end up going 15 pilot kills and 2 deaths. That's very good. Especially seeing as how, I'm still haven't even really prestiged or generationed once, and this was probably, I think, my third or fourth day playing the game. And yeah, it's a very interesting round. Now, one of the things that I wanted to discuss for this video is whether you enjoy Titanfall or not, whether you like the game or not, whether you like its fast-paced arcade kind of Call of Duty-esque gun mechanics and things like that, whether you like the fact that it negates a traditional single-player campaign, which is actually ironic since people say traditional, and yet traditional games only had a single-player or only had a multiplayer. It was only until last gen that you really saw a lot of that merger. But whatever, that's for another video. But whether you dislike the fact that they had foregone a traditional quote unquote campaign, single player, and went multiplayer only with some splashing of a campaign. One of your reasons for not liking the game, this is one thing that you should at least appreciate that they did for Titanfall. Something to marvel at, and that is their map design and the way that it's built, the way that it's structured for the small-scale pilot fighting, where you're this, I don't know the exact height, but I'm 6 foot, so we'll go with that. Where you're a 6 foot tall soldier, and then you also have the aspect of the parkour system and the jump jet system. So you have that level of verticality, but also structuring of interiors to match that. And then you have the Titan aspect, which I have no clue how tall those guys would be. I guess they're like four times the height of a normal person. Maybe they kind of look like they're 4 times your height. So let's just go with 24 foot tall beasts of these Titans. And they don't have any jumping. They can only be on the ground. So you have to design these maps, these urban settings, the more open ones, kind of like the deserty boneyard, I believe is what it's called. The amount of time that it would have taken for them to design these maps to function as something that you can move around in, that you can engage in fights in as an infantry who can wall run and jump around in the air, and then also navigate these maps effectively, balanced-wise, as this towering thing that can't really... he can step over vehicles and pass by trees and things like that, but you have certain barriers and things that still have to be traversable by the infantry, but not traversable by these Titans. I mean, that really is it's art what they did in the game design. I mean, most of the time, map design, it's more of it's thought of to be more of like a technical thing. But as games have advanced with like Battlefield and its destruction and things like that, it's more becoming an art and less of just technical balancing. And that is very true for Titanfall. I mean, every time I get into these levels, there's a point when I hop into the Titan after being the pilot and remembering, like, I was just running around this area as this tiny little 6 foot tall dude, and now I have this perspective of viewing the map from this 24 foot tall giant, and I'm going through these archways, these buildings in which the walls were blown out, and when I was down on the ground, I just saw them as just destruction. That's all it is. But now in this Titan, that is no longer just destruction, that is a doorway, that is an entrance to my only possible entrance to this building, this interior. Whereas before, as the infantry guy, as the pilot, I had plenty of entrance ways. This one was just the big open one that maybe seemed like, because of its openness, it was just too obvious that people are gonna want to stare at that point as a focal point of the enemy's gonna come from here. But now it's the only point. I agree there are flanking different ways you can go underneath bridges and go around side walls and there are other ways, but it's just the fact that it turns one thing to a whole new perspective based on your what you're currently playing as, whether it be the Titan or the pilot, and that dichotomy is very, very cool for me. I would love, one of the things that I've always enjoyed about Valve games is they always have commentaries, and a lot of these Kickstarter projects, they're doing those things where they constantly release monthly content showing the development process of their game, and that's really cool. But a lot of these other big AAA titles, you maybe if you get the collector's edition, you get access to a video that shows the making of, but I've always loved about film, when you get the Blu-ray or DVD copy of something, you have the director's commentary, the actor's commentary, the producer's commentary, the special effects guy's commentary, the writer or screenplay writer's commentary, and then you have the behind the scenes, you've got the blooper reel, you have all this stuff that shows that. And that's something that the video games really have not capitalized on all that well, aside from Valve and some of these Kickstarter things. And we're starting to get into things like with GDC, the Game Developers Conference, Valve doing their Steam Dev Days. We're starting to get these things to really professionalize the video game industry of these greats in the industry, passing knowledge down and things like that. But for people that aspire to they're not yet into film, they see these documentaries, these behind the scenes, and they watch the movie with the commentary on, and it gives them this real just other side of how it's made. It ruins the magic when you learn about all the editing techniques and things like that. You learn, oh, that was just CGI, that wasn't actually real. It kind of ruins the magic of it, but for me, it just truly gives me a whole level of appreciation. Like, these guys did all of this for just one scene. There were this many people with this many different jobs all involved to make that one scene the result that it was, and video games can really benefit from that. People that aspire to be video game programmers, designers, writers for the script. Writing a script for a game is a whole different beast for writing a script of a movie or writing a story, a novel, a book. They're very, very different things, because you have that whole aspect of the player can do things. You could have an entire section written and created in your game, and it might never be viewed by the player, or interacted through the player's session. So I would really love to see a behind-the-scenes documentary. If you guys know of anything of this sort, any trailers that were released that show the making of Titanfall and their development process specific to map design, please share that with me, and I would love to then pass that on to everybody else. Because it really is something to marvel at what Respawn have done with Titanfall's map design. Hope you guys have enjoyed the gameplay going on that in the background, and I hope that you've enjoyed this little discussion, and maybe it has opened your mind somewhat, maybe just a little bit, to the marvels of Titanfall's map design. So I hope you guys have enjoyed all of it. Have a good one. Ta-ta.